You share the same bed, but you still feel very lonely in your marriage. Why is that so? I can tell you why. Why do you feel as if you are all by yourself, even though you are both sleeping in the same bed? And this happens. I have seen that in my work as a marriage coach, and I understand that this can happen easily, even in my experience, in marriage thus far. But let me tell you why, so that you can begin to treat this issue in your marriage quickly. Number one is that there is emotional disconnection. Now, this is why it is actually possible for you to be sleeping in the same bed, living in the same house, even eating from the same plate, but then you are feeling lonely because a lot of times you are talking from the head. You are talking logistics. You're not talking from your heart. You are not going into the fifth or the highest level of communication as a couple. In my sessions, I always assess couples on their communication level, whether they are talking from, their head, or they're talking from their heart, or they're talking even just from, by body language, or whether, do you see, I always have to rate and check where they are. Now, you can tell this by just looking through and just reviewing the kind of communication and the kind of things you talk about, how you talk about them, how much you say about them. Do you see? Yeah. If you see that all you do is talk about the children's school fees, the children's extra lessons and tutoring, you talk about, oh, a social family member is having an event, we have to go, and you're talking about everything else but yourself, your feelings, your fears, your hopes, your dreams, then that's one reason you're feeling very lonely in your marriage, even though you're sleeping in the same bed. Emotional disconnection matters because deep emotional sharing is a critical ingredient for intimacy in marriage. So emotional disconnection cannot be happening, and if it's happening, then you're going to feel like strangers. Even though there's physical closeness, it would feel empty if there is no emotional connection. So what are you going to do moving forward? You are going to begin to say, let's talk from our heart. How are you doing? What's on your mind? What are the things you're afraid of at the moment? How are you feeling about me, about our marriage, about yourself? What would you like me to pray for? For you, pray with you, what is on your mind? And many conversations that would never be yes or no answers will be critical to moving both of you forward. Sharing deeply, vulnerably, no holds barred, GC would be a way to get out of this emotional disconnection. And I'm happy to sit with you to sort of help both of you find your way back to this place where you're sharing deeply, vulnerably, where you don't feel like you're physically close, but your hearts are miles apart from each other. I can do a great job sitting with you in a session or more and just bring both of you back closer, remove what has built a wall and has led to the disconnection, and you can then begin to enjoy true friendship, partnership in your marriage. Another thing, number two, that could lead to a couple living in the same home, sleeping in the same bed, yet feel so apart and lonely in marriage is conflict avoidance, where you have issues, which is normal. We have differences, we have matters that we don't agree on or that need to be spoken about, unresolved issues, but we, rather than speak to them, rather than deal with them, we shove them under the carpet. We sweep things under the rug instead of addressing them. And so when that happens, over time, you begin to drift apart. And this is why you cannot keep pushing things under the carpet. If something goes wrong, if there is an issue at the moment, what you should do is find a good time to deal with the matter. And it is both of you against the issue. It is not the issue in between you both. So remember that. Now, when both of you sit down and say, this is the issue. Why did this happen? Why shouldn't it happen anymore? How can we avoid it next time? Okay, we have learnt our lesson from this. Or it's the way you handle this. Or it's the fact that you didn't speak to me about spending that money and then you did that. Whatever it is. Okay, next time, this is our agreement moving forward as a couple. We're going to do this. I apologize that I didn't do that. Oh, I'm really sorry about it. I should have also spoken, proactively. Okay, I'm sorry about it. I apologize. I love you. Is this over? Do you see, it's just dealing with the issue there and then will always be a blessing. It will always draw you closer. It's when you allow the issues to keep piling up on each other, what then happens is you have a wall in between both of you. And so even though you're sleeping in the same bed, you don't feel connected because there are walls. And that's what walls does. And unresolved issues in marriage will always build walls in between a couple. It's never something to embrace, right? So silence becomes the loudest tension. Even though you are sleeping and waking up in the same bed, you are close in space, but you are far in spirit. So it's time to start resolving your issues. Number 3 for me would be no shared vision, no shared goals, no, planned and agreed destination, even if it's for the next 2 years, for the next 5 years, you see. So both of you are living individual lives. There is nothing that we're sharing as, oh, this is what we're trying to do together, achieve as a family, financially, spiritually, physically, anyway, even health-wise. So when you are in a marriage and both of you don't have shared vision of, oh, this is our plan for the next 5 years, you are building separate lives under one roof, of course, you are going to feel lonely in that marriage. You're going to be in the same bed, sitting on the same couch in the living room, but your minds are in 2 different places. So you feel alone. You can't even think of sharing and talking because you have stopped dreaming and planning together. Have you stopped dreaming and planning together? Then it is time to say, okay, this is a marriage. This is us. This is not just me. This is not just him. This is us. This is our home. And so you want to say, what are your dreams? What are your plans? What are my plans? What are my dreams? How can we merge this? Do you see? It doesn't mean that we have to now both run together with one thing you're doing, but it's that I can share the vision with you. There are some things I've conceived in my heart or I've received as an instruction of something to do that I have shared with my husband, and his job is really to back me up. Sometimes it's to provide counsel. Sometimes it's to even help me do all the research work and the details that I may miss. But we have a shared vision. We have things that are bringing us together that we can talk about, that we are working on together. And it's not just about assignments and things, even with the children. We have a shared goal of how we want them to turn out. We have a shared goal of the things we're doing with them weekly. Do you see? We have a shared goal even for our health, that we're saying, okay, this is how we want to eat. This is what we want to eat. Do you see? There's so much together we're sharing and planning together and dreaming together. So much so that there's no way we can feel lonely in marriage. No, it's just too much going on. We are so intertwined into each other. And I'm sharing this with you because I want you to look within and see what it is that may be missing in the equation for you that makes you feel very lonely in your marriage. When there is no shared direction, the bond weakens even in bed. And that's something to know. You see, the thing about you feeling lonely in your marriage is, even though you may be having sex, which is possible, very soon you are going to begin to have dutiful sex out of duty. And very soon you're going to begin to say, I don't want to have anything to do with this person. I don't even feel connected to them. And that's why you must not play with feeling lonely in marriage, with, more importantly, feeling disconnected in marriage. Now, the 4th reason that couples may have or experience loneliness in marriage is that they have touch without connection. And that's why I started to say at the end of point 3 that, see, you may think you're having sex, but it's going to get to a point where the touch begins to feel like, what's happening here? So you may be having sex, but you are not really together. Your minds are in 2 different places. In fact, sometimes, I've seen and I've heard where people have been in sexual activity and they're, just lost, like just get it done with and go. And I've had sessions where husbands are like, I don't know why. I'd rather have her more active, be there in the room with me. But it's obvious that she just wants me to tick the box and go. You as a husband should take that seriously. It tells you that something is going on. It tells you that there's a wall and you should be trying to break the wall. If you can't do it by yourself, you should sit down in a session in someone as a couple to say, okay, what's going on here? Are there unresolved issues, right? Is there trauma that is even getting in the way? Or is there that there is dissatisfaction? Do you see? You have to check. So if there is touch, yes, we're touching, we're hugging, but there's no connection, I can tell you for real that is about to blow up in your face. So intimacy without emotional safety, without emotional connection, without all of the feelings that I should have, yes, when my husband touches me or my wife touches me, it would leave both of you feeling unseen. It would leave both of you feeling like strangers to each other, and you can't feel like strangers. So if any of this sounds like your reality, if you can already even put a finger from one of the 4 points I've raised today, then I want you to go and start doing better with your marriage. I want you to also come and share in the comments, share privately with me by email or in my DM how this has helped your marriage. Don't ignore any of these signs I've highlighted. They are warning lights. They are not dead end. So they're just saying, okay, let's work on this. Let's watch it. And I can help you reconnect. Okay? You can book a session or you can join the Better Marriage course. The link is in my bio and you can find more details on my website. Until I sit with you again, go and start growing together and not growing apart. God bless you.